Hey, we're here. Welcome back, guys. It is your girl, the Plush Mommy. I am Plush and I'm a mommy. That's honestly why I have that name. And it's another episode of It's Just Social Media. This podcast is just for those of you navigating the world of social media and you know nothing or know everything and you just want to talk about the things on the social medias that make you happy. We love positivity on social media. This week, we have a special guest. And really special guest for me. This is Shadora Martin from Best Life Organic.
Hi, what's up?
Hello. Welcome. All right, so I'm a lot of energy, I know. But first things first, this is the show, Shadora. I know you know this, but it's just social media episodes, and the title of it, I always say it's not just social media, which is why I made it the title of It's Just Social Media. Biggest reason is because, straight up, I met you, a client, on social media. And
I know, right?
and everybody has ever been on my show I've met through social media, and it's been huge impact since. So let's talk a little bit about, let's talk about how we met. I always talk about how we met, which was, I think, through a social media group.
Yeah. We were in a Facebook group for just like Black women entrepreneurs.
Yes.
And I don't know, I think it was like a promo thread. Like people were like just promoting like what they do. And we just like connected that way. I think I saw your post in the thread, like advertising your social media
Yes.
marketing. So yeah, I hit you up and became your client.
I told the people, I tell people all the time, I tell clients, like, Facebook is not dead. Facebook has new options. And those Facebook groups are winning. Because I've connected with different people. And every time I'm like, yeah, I have this skincare client, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, how'd you find her? And I'm like, I'm being Facebook networking because it's social networking. And I think people always forget that.
Yeah, Facebook groups are like really popping in a way that I think people don't really like fully understand. Like I'm in like several of them, like some for networking, some for just like educational like resources. But yeah, Facebook groups are really popular and are a great way to meet people like in your field, like potential clients, or if like you need certain services, it's a great way to connect with people.
I found Facebook groups first through just being stupid online, and I was just hanging out with friends and stuff like that, and just talking, just talking nonsense. This is before I was an entrepreneur, and I was just freelancing. And then I met one of my closest friends through Facebook group, and then I met my now boyfriend through a Facebook group, that same Facebook group. Then I said, let me look at other Facebook groups once I became an entrepreneur, and I found all these entrepreneur Facebook groups and did that. And then I went and I found you through those groups, and now I'm networking with people in other ways. And I feel like it's actually a marketing tool because now there are groups that are dedicated towards companies and, business owners where they can market their businesses and or network with people they can collaborate with. I've seen so many people connect just simply off of Facebook groups and just commenting on like a regular post.
Yeah, it's just like I said, it's just one of those things. Like I don't think people really like understand. Like join up. Like when people are like ask me like, where should I go for this, or like what should I do about this? I want to start my own business in this field. I'm like, join a Facebook group. Like that's the best way to kind of like you get like different people's like perspectives on things. People that are already in the field.
Yeah.
It's just such a great.
It's somewhere to get answers.
Exactly.
Because I think, and you know what it is? Business ownership is so lonely.
Oh my God. What?
It's mad lonely. It's like nobody tells you that. You're like, I got all these friends, but then you become a business owner and you're like, man, it's 2:00 in the morning. Nobody's here. Like you need someone to talk about like these weird things that happen as a business owner, and
you want to vent, or you want to just like share your experiences, and so like the Facebook groups are really great for that too.
Exactly. Well, speaking of Facebook groups, let's talk about your business and this amazing glowing skin that we both have because of what you provide for the for
Yeah.
the people.
Yes. So
I'm the founder of Best Life Organics, which is a natural and organic skincare brand that has been in business for 2 years. And I've been formulating skincare for 3 years and decided to just go for it, just do it. I was pregnant and I was on my own self care journey, and I started making my own products because there wasn't really a lot out there for me, like that I felt like was for me on the market as a Black woman. And so I just started making my own products and decided, this is something that I really want to do. This is something I enjoy. This is something that makes me look good, something that makes me feel good. And I want to share that. I want to share that with as many people as possible. So it's been a ride. It's been a ride. And social media, in the beginning, it was a huge challenge for me because, like I said, I was pregnant. So I had a kid and then I had another kid. And so, I decided to have two kids and start a business pretty much at the same time. So trying to like juggle social media and, raise my kids, it felt like really overwhelming at first,
Has to be.
but since since I got on board with you, it's been like a lot easier to manage, and like just like learning from you, like that it's really not that hard as long as you like remain consistent and like know your audience.
I love the word consistent. When I tell you everybody I've had on my show, the first word, that's the first thing they say when they're talking about their business or they're talking about their projects. Consistency is like the first thing. And yes, that's really it. It's social media. Social media is only difficult if you aren't consistent. And it's also only difficult if you don't have the content. And I think the biggest hardship for anyone I know who is in business or anything on social media is generating content, because you got to get the pictures and you got to get the videos and you got to get the stuff edited and you got to get the things ready, and then you're doing all this work for what is literally sometimes just one post for
Yeah.
one, and you're like, okay, I need
Or even
29
like
more
one
posts.
like, like you might post something and like maybe like 5 people might like me, like
All of that went to
all
five likes. It makes you nuts. I totally understand, and that's why I tell people, please don't look at the likes. How many phone calls did you get? Because like for me, both of my pages, I get 4 or 5 likes, couple whatever, but the phone is ringing, and I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, there's a reason for this. Is the phone to ring? Because if the phone isn't ringing, then I mean, all right, then the content's not working. But if
Yeah.
comments aren't coming or something gotta work.
Even if the phone isn't ringing, like it just takes time to like build your platform and build your community. So it's like, don't like freak out. That's
That's
what I learned, like
nice.
not to freak out, because
Which
it really just takes time for people to like know, like grasp who your brand, what your brand is and what you're all about.
so I don't have a lot of mom entrepreneur friends. Like most of my entrepreneur friends are like married and by themselves with their husband,
People
business
don't
partner.
understand. People don't understand. Like,
I was like, they were like, "Girl, we gonna go celebrate. What you gonna do?" And I'm like, "Put up Benny to bed. You like celebrate?
yes.
I don't got time, child. This child is sitting there. She goes sit. She lives on this iPad ever since she's been doing homeschool with me. Oh my gosh, I have been every day
Yeah.
I find
I
something
can't
is
even
broken.
imagine.
Every day something is broken. Every
Yeah,
day.
my niece like came and like did some virtual learning. Like that's like my first like glimpse at virtual learning, like to really see how it goes. And it's a trip. It's like kids are falling asleep in class, and like people don't got their cameras turned on. Like it's just like, or like, yeah, the teacher's like something's glitching and the teacher's trying to figure it out.
We've
Um,
had I've had to leave school early because Wi-Fi decided to have its moment. We've had so many incidences. Like entrepreneurship and motherhood in general are just not like when people like I'm a mompreneur. Some people are like, I don't want to be called a mompreneur. I just want to be called an entrepreneur. I was like, no, no. I'm a mompreneur.
That's a special skill, okay?
Serious. I'm
And I want my
serious.
credit for that.
Like, I'm a
Give me my credit for
mompreneur.
that.
You giving me my credit. You're giving me my flowers for that. I want the flowers because this is. I'll be in whole meetings. Mommy, I have diarrhea. Oh my god! I'm like, yeah. So your analytics are, mommy. Oh.
Yes.
She be walking out here without her pants on. I'm like, ma'am. Like, I had to switch to my living room because she was going in and out of my bathroom, and I thought she would know to go to the other bathroom so that we won't have the interrupt. No.
Nah, it's like they know. They're like, I'm gonna go where mommy is.
No, it's I don't know.
Comfort
I feel like it's when we were kids and we lived on the television watching TV all the time. It's similar to like now. It's just all she's doing is on that Switch and that iPad.
Sometimes it's just like here you go, just like just go.
Just somewhere around 8 and 9, I'm like, let me see if you're. Hey, you good? Okay.
Right. Back to work.
All right. So Best Life Organics. How is it running Best Life Organics and doing skincare? Because you said you did skincare because you were pregnant. You started this because you were pregnant.
Yeah, it happened that way. I never set out to, formulate my own skincare, right. But what happened was I got pregnant with my daughter in 2017. And I just went on my own self-care journey. I was working in restaurants for a number of years in the DC area, and I wasn't really taking good care of myself. I was, in my 20s, just, living like the restaurant worker life. And so once I got pregnant, I really just had a chance to pause and, say, hey, like, I have a daughter coming into this world. And so I really just want to, kind of just like cleanse and like I just went on this whole like natural tip. And so I started formulating my own skincare products, one, because there wasn't really a lot out there for me on the market that I felt like was catering to like Black women's skin. And so, I had shea butter, I had all these oils, and I started, formulating. That's when I really began formulating. I started like mixing them. And the first item that I created was my body butters, which, are like my best sellers. And so I fell in love with the body butters. I was using them. I was like, ooh, this makes my skin pop. And, I feel good as well. And I decided that, I want to share this feeling with everyone. And so that's how Best Life Organics was born.
My favorite origin stories are the ones that are born out of just like a personal need. And they become something that you didn't realize affected multiple women. Like, you didn't realize that so many other women are like, girl, me too. Like, because I know 2012, my skin, the weirdest things happen to your skin in pregnancy. And it's like, as Black women, we have the melanin, and we love to talk about how our melanin is popping and how we are like, we look like we're 12, but we're like 75 years old. And I always tell people, like, it's not no magic formula. We drink water, we mind our business for the most part, and we moisturize our skin. Like, we keep our skin.
Moisture is the key to life. Like, moisture is a huge part. Like, moisture is best life. Like without moisture, like,
you can't function.
You cannot, like, whenever I have an ashy complex, and I feel like a lot of Black people have an ashy complex, where like, if you're ashy, like, you are like, you don't know what to do with yourself.
It feels dry. It feels like you
feel like stuck.
Yeah.
like the Tin Man, like you need some oil, like you gotta really like grease those joints.
I think for them, it's like they can be ashy. I say them, I'm sorry, the others, the lighter heat.
Yeah.
They can go around with a less amount of oil because for them, it doesn't
really show as much.
Right. So if they're ashy, it'll feel ashy, but it's not actually looking ashy. For us,
it's like, oh no.
We're going to get roasted by our aunt
right now.
Like, auntie's going to see this. She's like, who? How are you leaning in? Like, you're getting roasted by your whole family.
Yes.
The whole thing. Listen, I understand it, but that's why I tell people like all you gotta do just like wash your face, drink water, mind your business, and keep yourself.
Yeah, and moisturize, hydrate and moisturize,
Hydrate,
and you'll be
moisturize.
okay. You'll be okay.
What is your favorite? You have now you just released your cleanser gel. Your cleansing gel is by far like changing my life. I've been using it for what about a week
That's
now.
so good to hear.
I because my skin has been going through something and I'm going through transition right now with my body and my skin and I'm just having like the worst meltdown. But when I tell you the cleansing gel has changed the game for me, I'm thankful because I'd be breaking out.
That was the cleansing gel is really, really special to me for a number of reasons. And I waited. I like purposely like waited and took my time with making it because I really wanted it to be a product that really worked for people with sensitive skin, people with acne prone skin, people with oily combination skin, because that I have all of those things. And I struggle with acne for a long time. I grew up with acne. I think I first started having pimples when I was in like fourth or fifth grade, all the way up until all throughout my 20s. And so I had a lot of skin insecurity because of that. And my skin is finally at a place where I really feel comfortable and I really like love my skin. And, I have a really good relationship with it now because I've been, formulating my own products and using really discovering the power of natural ingredients. So this cleanser, which is made with calendula and rosehip oil, it's just, I'm so proud of it because I feel like it really works. You really see the results.
Yeah.
I kind of instantly you start to see like your face brighten up and you're not like so dry after you use it. I feel like a lot of cleansers are super drying, and that's something that I purposely was like, no, like we're gonna have a cleanser that's gonna cleanse and like remove all the bad stuff, but like replenish that moisture.
I think because a lot of these cleansers have a lot of alcohol in it and have
Mm-hmm.
a lot of chemicals in it and they're stripping.
Yes.
They're,
Yes.
clarifying cleansers. And
Yes.
oily skin on your face is always seen as a bad thing, but I think the trend, which we're about to get into with social media trends, the trend now is to look like you put your face in chicken grease.
Hello.
You know?
Yes, it really is. And like
And-
for the oily combo skin people, it's like yeah, this is what we have. But we have it for a reason. Like our skin produces oils for a reason. It's just the overproduction of oil can lead to the clogged pores, which leads to acne. So you just have to control that oil and use products that kind of mimic the natural oils that your skin already produces, and just like gives you just the right amount of replenishes that oil, because like having the skin stripped, it's not gonna do you any favors at all.
It doesn't do. I used to strip it as much as humanly possible. Then you put this witch hazel. Here's my old routine. You put the witch hazel right on afterwards. So now you strip, and then
double strip.
And then it's like, oh, okay, now I have some moisture on it, and then your face is. Then you wonder why you have like dry patches around your mouth.
Yeah, because like I know for me, like before I even got into like the whole skincare thing, I used to think that like, oh, like putting oil on your face, or like it felt like counterintuitive. Like it didn't seem like it was the right thing to do because I know like back in the day it was like like salicylic acid, and just like really like the stripped feeling almost made you feel like it was actually working.
Right.
Which for me, it actually wasn't. Like, yeah, like I used this product, but like what it didn't do. I used so many products. Like now people are like, oh yeah, remember the St. Ives like apricot scrub and like all those like drugstore.
I was a St. Ives user.
And yeah.
I was, and then I started seeing scratches on my face. I was like, that's not. I'm not in the Fight Club, so
yeah, you just use what's available to you. And so like for me, like once I discovered like the power of natural ingredients, I fell down the wormhole, and I'm just like, oh, like there are things that naturally come from this earth that work wonders. And people have been like, this is not really anything new, to be honest. Like African beauty rituals, like Chinese beauty rituals, people like multicultural beauty rituals. Like people have been using these ingredients for a long time, and I feel like people, like brands, are starting to get like back to that, especially with this clean skincare revolution that's taking place. That I feel like is here to stay.
My thing about it is what I like about you and your products, and I think this is why I've gravitated towards you, because since working with you, I've had multiple skincare companies come my way, and they haven't. I said no, mainly because my biggest thing that I look for in a skincare company is their knowledge of the product,
Yeah, that's so
and
important.
you know why you're using calendula. You know why it's rose hip. You know why we're doing, how do you say, by the way, matcha?
Matcha, it's matcha,
Okay.
yeah.
So why we have matcha, like every piece of product, every ingredient has a purpose for the skin that you know the skin that it's going on. You
Yeah,
understand.
exactly.
And my thing is when I go to these like all organic and we're all, everybody loves to talk about how they're all natural and organic, but then you put it on your skin and it's like it
Yeah.
smells terrible. It or it's
Yeah, it's so much. It's for me, my process is so much that just goes into it. Like everything is done with intention. Like I'm not just throwing like a bunch of like a potpourri of like, organic ingredients and be like, oh, here
yes,
you go. It's
exactly.
like it definitely is. I do so much research like on the back end before I even like start to formulate, like again, Facebook groups. I'm a part of this skincare mastermind Facebook group where like, I mean, you first of all, you never know who's in these groups. Like
Yeah,
these people can be from like, huge corporations like, Estee Lauder, like people
exactly.
are all up in these groups. So like the skincare group, I learned so much from other formulators who are like as a constant like trial and error process. But yeah, like even like, so even once I start making something, I'm also thinking about like all of the senses that people are going to experience, when they use the product. So visually, how it feels, how it smells, like all of those things are like so important to me when I'm making stuff because those things matter. It creates an experience.
That's the thing for me, and that's the thing that everyone I've ever spoken to about your products, most of my friends, because weirdly enough, like my friends found you through the work we were doing, and because I share my client stuff once, every once in a while or whatever. But Plush Mommy has its own stuff, and I gotta start sharing you guys more often, to be honest with you. As I'm sharing, I don't even get any calls about the products I share. What ends up happening, I kid you not. We put the ad out, and most of your client base are my friend groups. Is all my
Yes.
bougie, gainfully employed Black women, Black girl magic friends, and so every one of them, I remember the girl we were talking about, a girl I had on my show before. She's like, "Let me see a client's page." Oh my God, this is my aesthetic. This is my aesthetic. I love this. I love it.
Oh,
Oh my God, these are my
that's
these
so
are my
nice.
ingredients. And then my other friend, she was like, "Oh, I'm all here for it. I love this gold." And I'm just like, my friends are just so insane and they're so bougie. But the moment we talk about it, I'm hearing about an order, and then I'm like, okay, there we go. So like every one of them seem to, the right people see it, they will buy it, and I'm happy with that. And I think with social media does, you get inundated a lot with like, we have Fenty Skin, for instance, with the beautiful, people and their beautiful products, and
Yeah,
everyone
their
loves it.
marketing, they have the means to create,
Right. And then
compelling campaigns.
but here's the thing I've learned, in because when I started working with you, Fenty Skin launched. I was literally about to click buy.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, yes, because I love Fenty makeup. I love Fenty makeup. I love Savage Fenty, everything. So I'm like,
I
Robin
mean, who
Fenty,
doesn't?
Robin Fenty will get my money. And then I thought about it and I said, oh, yeah, let me try this organic thing, whatever, because I have skin issues. I have skin insecurities because my skin usually acts right when I'm right. But
Right.
when I'm not right, it shows in my face. First thing it shows in my
Mm-hmm.
and so I was afraid of my skin not reacting right to organic products because I've had such bad experiences with organic products before. And I'm not a product junkie. I don't like just try something.
Mm.
A lot of people like to do that, hair and skin and stuff.
Yeah, just everywhere.
Oh
Yeah.
my god, I just tried this shampoo 6 weeks ago, and I'm like, I'm still on the same shampoo from like 3 or 4
You're
years.
loyal to the products that work
Once
for
I
you.
find something that
Yeah.
works, and I said
I
this,
hear
like my
you.
mom was like, "Would you use them even after she's not a client?" I said, "Yeah, because this is it. Like this is it. I don't feel my skin not doing anything else." But
Right.
what I like with you is that with the trends, social media, it makes you feel like you have to take care of your skin now,
Yeah.
because you got people on social media, doing this is my favorite move right here. It's like they'll go and then they take the serum
Oh yes, they'll go.
and they
Yes.
and I'm like, okay. And I didn't even know. Here's the thing. Here's the thing about the serums. I didn't know what a serum was. I
Yeah.
didn't know about. I was like, why are they using droppers on their face? Like droppers.
I know it's really extra. Like it's
I
really
was like,
extra. The people, it makes people feel like
class.
it gets people excited. I suppose. Yeah, but yeah, serums are definitely. I feel like really important in this skincare routine because serums, what they are and what separates them from like your average moisturizer is that they have specific ingredients that are targeted to correct different skin issues. So like if you see a hyaluronic acid serum or a vitamin C serum, like those serums work for people who have dark spots or hyperpigmentation. Like those ingredients are like targeted. So if you have issues with your skin or like certain blemishes, like serums are super important because that's the treatment part of your skincare routine.
See, I thought that was a social media trend, and then I used it, and I was
Well,
like,
that the little like dropper, like the drops like sliding down the face, that's a trend. But like serums are actually like they're important.
it's important. I wasn't hip to serums. I wasn't hip to face mists. Um, those two things are new to me because here's my skincare routine was legit like cleanser, witch hazel, and moisturizer. Going about my day.
Yeah, and I think that there's nothing wrong with that as long as you're cleansing, you're toning, which is what witch hazel does, and
Yeah.
using a moisturizer. A lot of people think they have to do this like 10-step, 8-step skincare routine. I don't think that's necessary, and I don't like. First of all, who can afford like to do all of that all the
I
time,
did buy a
every
steamer
single
though.
day?
I did buy the steamer because I was like, I want to try this. Seems like so much fun.
Yeah, no, it's definitely great for like pampering, but I feel like on the daily, like I'm a mom too. Like I don't have time to be putting 8 products on my skin every single day, sometimes twice a day. No,
I did a skincare routine with my daughter on my YouTube channel actually a few months back, and I did the mask on her face and everything, and I did the whole steps, and she was just like, "Can I go pray?" So what
I
is
can only
this?
imagine. It's like it can be. Skincare shouldn't feel like daunting. Like it should feel like a pampering experience. Like that's how I view it. And so that's why I've created the products that I did for my skincare line because I'm like, these are the ones that are essential. Everything else is kind of like, you can do that, once a month or something like that. But like you need a cleanser, you need a mist or toner, and you need moisture. And so that's what I really wanted to focus on with the skincare collection.
What's your favorite trend when it comes to social media skincare?
I really for social media skincare, the educational part of it is really that's what I enjoy the most because I feel like educating people who don't really know too much about like how to care for their skin. That's a really important thing that I feel like everything else is kind of like, oh, like videos and that's cool and all, but like actually educating people about ingredients, especially clean ingredients, and what's really out there. I love that. I'm all for it, and I'm always like that type of content always resonates with me.
What is your least favorite thing about like social media trends and skincare?
Just as sometimes I feel like it perpetuates this idea of like perfect skin, and perfection, where I feel like that's just, if that's, you shouldn't be chasing that, and that's just not the reality.
Right.
Everyone's skin is unique, and everyone breaks out, like more representation of people with like acne prone skin would be much appreciated, because that's just like flawless skin is just not really something that it's
It's
not really something
achievable
that
by
I
everybody.
aspire to have. It's just like I'm in a place where I'm appreciating the fact that like my skin is not perfect, and I do have blemishes every once in a while, and like I do
Right.
have hyperpigmentation, but I can still glow and I can still look cute. And, I can feel cute too. Like that's what
First of all,
I want to
you
see
are
more of that
glowing.
realistic representation.
You are glowing legit right now. So I'm like, I mean, you have them, I guess. I can't see that, but I get where you're coming from because you are glowing. But I think you can still glow with whatever it is that's on your face because I have wisdom warts. And really, I told my
That runs in
mom
my family.
that runs in my family. And I was just like, I thought this was like a Jamaican thing for the longest time. And I told my mom and my aunt and my grandmother, I said, I don't care if I get 75 wrinkles of a square foot on my face. I don't care how much gray hair comes in. I don't care about the turkey neck. I don't care about none of that. Here's what I care about. Them wisdom warts that we be getting right here, I will get it lasered off the moment I see my first one. I had my daughter and my husband at the time, my ex-husband now, he looked at me. He was like, oh, that's not a blackhead. And I was like, no. And I ran to the bathroom. I'm like, it's here. And then I don't know if I don't know if I was developing freckles or I always had freckles. I just never paid attention. And so now I have just series of freckles, and then the freckles have this party going on where it's like, where is it a freckle or a wisdom wart? Stay tuned on the next episode of Next Skincare. Like I just can't stand it. And then it's you get like this situation, and then I just one day stopped and I said, "What am I gonna do? Pop them?"
Right. Like it's just certain things are just like so certain things. A lot of skin issues, like, or things that you might not be like comfortable with, are just genetic, and you don't have any control over it. So like the best thing to do is just embrace it.
And I
You
think a lot
know.
of people forget that you spend so much time like covering up things that you think are on your that are bad on your skin, creating more problems for your skin in other areas.
Yes. Packing
So it's
on
like
products.
it's so much product, and then they don't realize that a lot of these women who are so good at makeup, the reason why the makeup looks so flawless is because the skincare is
Yes.
also flawless. You can
Yes.
have acne prone skin and the makeup sits nicely and you don't see a
Look at
single
Jackie
pimple.
Aina. Jackie Aina is a perfect example of that.
Perfect.
She has oily combination acne prone skin, and she is a champion. Like she really worked on her skincare. Like a lot of content that she puts out is like talking about like the prep that she puts into her skin in order for her makeup to really like look amazing.
And I learned that my mom taught me that the first thing I learned when she ever taught me about makeup was you cannot put foundation on your face if it wasn't clean first.
Yes.
You
Like
cannot
yes.
do that. You must clean. I don't care if you washed your face that morning, wash it again and do the process.
Yeah.
Or you put foundation on your face.
Definitely, because it's just gonna show through. Everything that you didn't do is gonna show. It's gonna come through. You're gonna be able to see it.
As I learned, and Jackie Ann is my teacher when it comes to my makeup application, because I normally put my makeup on for these podcast episodes, and I usually have full face with lashes and all nine.
Yeah.
And I do the makeup, and I always see like the biggest issue with people also is that you have to take that makeup off. You have to wash, and then not just makeup wipes or anything like that. You have to take it off properly. And that was another big lesson I learned was do not remove these makeup. Like don't remove makeup with some makeup wipes and go to sleep because the makeup.
Oh no, and that's a huge reason why I don't really wear makeup as much, because at night, like having to like wipe your makeup off at night and then do like the skincare, the whole skincare thing. I'm like, I'm just not gonna wear makeup today. Like only on like very special occasions will I wear it. Like I love makeup. I watch tutorials like all day long, but like I'm like, am I really gonna put in that effort, the full effort, like the put on and the take off? Am I really gonna do it right? Because it can be you have to do it. I
learned to just remove it naturally. Well, you saw the video. I learned to remove it naturally. Mm-hmm. I do not use makeup wipes anymore. What I do with a makeup wipe is when I use the makeup wipes, I use it after the oil process, like the oil to take off the actual foundation and everything. And I use the wipe to get that off. Then I use the cleanser right after that so that the harshness of the wipe doesn't affect my skin.
Yeah, the oil cleansing is really great too. I know you use like the coconut oil. And then you go in with the cleanser too.
I learned YouTube because they were like, oh, I just use the makeup wipe and then I wash my face after the makeup wipe. And I'm like, that's like 4 or 5 makeup wipes to get, because this is layers of like, and with makeup, you have your primer, your foundation, your concealer, your blush, your highlight. That's 5 different things that went onto your face alone. That doesn't even include eyeshadow. I don't have the time. I don't have the time. time. For me, I wish I had someone who could just like remove, like just take it off. But I can't. So I get that oil and get it off, get that cleanser. And the best thing, this is why I realized your cleanser was so good. Is because I put the cleanser on over the oil, and when I tell you off.
Yeah, like that. Definitely, like it's I love that cleanser so much. I use it faithfully. Like it's getting to a point where I'm just only using my products, and I'm like, I'm not mad. Like I'm like, it's working. I'm like,
I'm not mad at it.
I'm not mad either.
I'm not mad either. My skin has, I have, and I've talked about this on the show, I have PCOS. So I have now this new lovely acne situation that I hadn't had in years. So I'm just like, I don't have time for this. But the thing about the hormone changes in your body is that you can, like right here, is starting to concentrate in this area, which is really just the mask. And that was the next thing I was going to ask you. With times like these, I'm noticing a lot of women are complaining about the mask causing them a lot of breakouts. Do you have like methods that you use or things that you try to like do to like circumvent that or offset that issue?
Yeah, I definitely like since COVID, I've been doing like my mask, like my actual like face mask routine. Instead of doing it like once a week, I've been doing it twice a week. Okay. Just to really like, get like unclog those pores, because you're wearing a mask so much, like you have to detox your skin in that area more now because you are, wearing a mask a lot. So I just pay a lot more attention to those areas. And sometimes I'll just apply a mask, like, right in this like lower region and not even like at the top, just to really kind of like offset a lot of those skin issues that come with it.
What are some common mistakes you see with skincare on social media that people do?
People thinking that they don't have to wear SPF, which is, I know. And listen, don't feel guilty. Don't feel like.
No, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah. No, people thinking that Black women thinking that they can like, skip SPF. Like if you're not in the sun, like you're not out in the sunlight, like cool. But like if you're outdoors a lot, which I mean, I guess during COVID, people aren't out as much, but if you're out in the sunlight, like the sun damage is a huge reason why people have hyperpigmentation and, like dark spots, like it worsens those things. So like wearing SPF is like definitely something that's important. And people just not being aware of like what's in their products, I feel like is another thing that. And it's not really their fault, I feel like brands aren't really as transparent, as they could be about the ingredients that they're using. And I feel like sometimes people just go with what they know, go with what's affordable. But, a lot of what's out there is like, especially what's like the most accessible things I find are like have toxic ingredients in them. And I feel like people need to be
They don't
aware of
know.
that.
It's like the nutrition facts on your food.
Yeah, it's just like the same when you look at ingredients, like to see if like, oh, is there high fructose corn syrup in this, or like
Right.
certain ingredients, like to look for. Like you should look at your skincare and even like your household products the same way. Like it's all encompassing. Um,
I think for me with the social media trends, I didn't I never knew of skincare to be such like a thing. Like I thought makeup routines made sense because there's so many steps, and I thought everyone should just know how to wash their face. I did not know that there was things that I didn't know, and I didn't realize that there were so many things missing. I think for me,
Yeah.
I think for me the biggest advantage I've had since using your line has been one, learning my skin more. I've become more aware of my skin, and
Mm-hmm.
more aware of what I've been using on my skin because I'm loyal to products, like I said from
Right.
earlier. So before you was Shea Moisture, and I was like, well, they have skincare, they're black owned, just keep it going, whatever. Like I didn't think
Right.
anything of it,
Yeah.
and it worked, so I kept going. But I haven't had my skin look like this with any other product line prior. Before I was using bar soap, to be quite honest with you, child. I was just like, whatever, bar soap, whatever
Yeah.
I could just to get the makeup off or to get my skin ready
Mm-hmm.
for the day is whatever. I just needed to make sure my skin was clean. Um, and then I also, my diet was a big part of it, and I had to stop eating. I
Yes.
learned that the moment I was eating like greasy foods and stuff like that too often, my face took a beating the next
And
week.
can we talk about that for a second? Like
Oh,
that's another
absolutely.
thing you talk about, like misconceptions and like with people having social media. Like people think that, oh, like I'm just gonna use these products and everything's gonna be fine. No, like the diet is a huge in your water consumption is a huge part of it. Like for me
Yeah.
and for a lot of people I know, dairy is the enemy. You eating ice cream, I used to eat ice cream all the time. Used to drink sodas all the time. Used to, cheese. I like cheese on everything. Dairy, I instantly break out on my jawline. Um, I wake up the next morning and it
It
shows.
shows. Yep.
Yeah, so it shows on my face. So like diet is a huge part of it. And drinking water, like you have to hydrate. Like you have to find ways to incorporate water, like a lot of water into your daily routine. Because I notice when I drink a good amount of water, the way the products apply differently.
Yeah.
Like they really feel like sometimes I'll use a cleanser and I haven't had enough water, and it doesn't really feel as good as when I do drink water. It kind of just glides on my skin. My skin
Exactly.
is already like, you know, that you've already done that work. Like everything that you put into your skin, even what you put into your hair, like
Yeah.
it shows on your skin. So there's a lot of effort that goes into like getting the results that you want.
The what you've put in your body, because it affects your hair too.
Mm-hmm.
It affects your growth of your hair because my hair would never grow, like ever.
Mm-hmm.
And then my hairstylist, my daughter and I both, every time I take her hair down, I'm like, where did this come from? It's so much
Yeah.
hair. But I realize it's simply because this kid's a water drinker and she's not a kid eater. She's not a kid food eater. So if you ask her, what do you want to eat for lunch? She's like, can I have salmon? And I'm like, okay, that's fine.
Okay, girl. I love
You're an
it.
8 year old, but that's
I
totally
love
cool
it.
because at least she's more in tune with the things, and she knows that healthy food means less issues with certain things,
Yes.
and she don't want to let go
Yes.
of nobody doctor, so she's like, I'll eat the salmon so nobody can go give me shots. That's how she looks at it.
Yes.
And so I'm looking at her and I'm like, well, I gotta be a role model. So then ever since I got the PCOS situation, I can't I'm having a hard time with this because I really love ice cream so much.
No. So,
Oh yeah, but I
Let's
can't.
talk about, listen, ice
It's
cream, like ice cream, I have not eliminated it, but I don't
oh
eat it nearly as much as I used to. I
no,
actually used
not
to
at
work
all.
at an ice cream store I worked at an ice cream store called Jenny's briefly, like after I had my son, and I was eating ice cream every day, every single day, and it was not. I was out of control. I had a problem, so I had to really like develop some discipline, when it came to like certain foods, because my skin just would not tolerate. It's like, oh, you want to eat ice cream today? Okay, here go 5 pimples.
Yeah, pretty much. Everything. I used to think my diet just only had to do with like my weight. And the thing is, and I know, like for everyone listening, you guys know, for those of you who've been to my show a lot, like I'm a plus size advocate, body positivity, all this stuff, woo, whatever. But the thing about body positivity is not that I'm like glorifying an unhealthy lifestyle. I've always said that it takes a lot of work to be this fat. Like it's not. I don't think people understand. Like it takes a lot of work just to keep myself to this point. Like I can't do. I gotta still do some activity. I still have to eat right. I still have to, take care of my body, even though it looks like I don't do nothing and all I get to do is just wear nice clothes. If I don't take care of myself, if I don't eat the right food, then everything goes haywire. Like literally everything. And then with the advent of PCOS, it's like even worse now. One thing, one meal. If I eat ice cream, cheese, bread right now for me is the devil. And I never had issues with bread, but I used to love bread. I was Oprah. I love bread. I was all that. I was just all about bread. And now I'm eating lettuce wraps because bread's like I had to stay away from carbs in a way that's like a Kardashian, because it's deathly for me and it messes up the rest of my day.
It affects your mood. It makes you feel tired.
I'm always tired.
Yeah, if you feel the fatigue that comes from like consuming like bread like consistently is definitely it affects your mood in a lot of ways, and you feel unmotivated and like it's not, and it's crazy because it's like it's just bread, but
it's so bad for you. And then once I started like this happened to me a few years back, and I noticed that it was affecting my hair and my skin. But then this recent, thing, it really helped me out. So like now I have like I eat Cobb salads often, almost every day, and those water soluble foods, and those those drinking all the water. I drink all the water. I mean that's not new. That's always been my thing.
Yeah.
But drinking all the water, staying away from soda and fruit juices, and eating vegetables and things, and really being a real adult, like the adult that you always thought you'd never become. Like your inner child is like, who are you? You're betraying.
I know, right? My inner child is looking at me like, girl.
What? We out here trying to get these ice creams, girl. What you doing? But it's like I gotta do it because I really don't like being tired, and we're entrepreneurs. That's the biggest issue. It's like I'm an entrepreneur.
Oh yes.
I cannot fall asleep at 2:00 in the afternoon. I can't. I cannot afford. I remember this happened to me last week. 2 or 3 weeks ago. I fell asleep at 2:00 in the afternoon, and I slept till the next day. And I was like, like my whole day was ruined. I was like, no, this can't happen again. So I gotta get vitamins and all these things. And the skincare comes right into it. Like your nails get affected. It literally starts with what you eat, and then
absolutely, it's such a huge important. Eating right is the foundation. For everything.
And then your stress levels, and your sleep habits, and all of that affects your skin. Because I can tell when I have a stressful week, I have like a real stressful week, and I have no sleep for that week, and I was eating crap all week because I was trying to like just get through the week. Boy, my face takes a beating, and nobody can save me, like nobody. So I've learned now, nothing like me. If I'm not okay, everything else kind of falls apart. So this has
that you have to get that right before you even think that a product is going to work for you. Like you have to lay that foundation down.
Do you think self-care like became popular with social media in general?
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely. That word is like one of the, especially like working in this beauty, like skincare world, that term is used so widely. And yeah, people are I'm not mad at it because I feel like it's really important, like especially myself as a mom, as an entrepreneur, always juggling things all the time, like having that, actually taking the time, like intentionally taking that time for self-care is really important. And I'm glad that it's become a trend because we all need it. Whether you're a mom or not, whether you're an entrepreneur or not, you need to take time for yourself. And self-care doesn't always mean like, putting skincare products on, it can just mean taking a nap, it can mean, just having time to like read a book and, like do something for yourself.
Well, Shadora, this conversation could go on forever. First things first, let's talk. I want you to tell the people all of the products that you have available and where we can find you and where we can find your products.
Yes. So my website is www.bestlifeorgnx.com. And I have so many good things for your skin. Bath and body, and also facial care from head to toe. I got you covered. I have some things behind me. The body butter, which is my number one bestseller. It's infused with shea butter and natural oils, and the texture of it is just heavenly, and it'll just make you glow all over without being too greasy, and it smells absolutely divine. This one is actually the amber and oak moss one, and it smells like woodsy, sweet, earthy goodness. And then I have some body oils. Body oils as well. I have some things if you, this is the rose gold body oil, if you want to have a little shimmer. That's my son in the background, y'all, just in case y'all wonder, like, what is this, like, crazy talk? That's my 1-year-old son. But rose gold body oil, if you like a little shimmer, and it has nice peachy aromatics to it. And then I also have the signature body oil, which has some vetiver, geranium, and clary sage, which is really nice and floral and earthy, a little perfumey. The great thing about my Bath and Body products is that you can wear them on its own and it smells really nice, or you can even layer them with your favorite fragrance if you want to. I have some lip balm too, which is oversized so you won't lose it. And for my full lipped people, you're gonna love the nice, like, larger tube. It's made with shea butter, avocado oil. And then
And then we've got, I have it ready. The cleansing gel. Ooh, ooh. I'm gonna put it over here so people can see, it, okay? We have the cleansing gel. We've got the velvet serum for your face, okay? I have the matcha. I'm saying this correctly for always. Listen, this is how much I'm using it. You see this?
Yes, matcha green tea mist.
I be misting my life away. I'm like, oh my gosh, already finished. All right, so I have the botanical face mist with the matcha as well. You can go to her website, and of course, because you already know Brooklyn Social has got this covered, please make sure you follow her on Best Life Organics for Instagram, and we're also Best Life Organics on Facebook. Okay, and don't worry, TikTok is coming. We got to take over.
It's on the way. We gotta get that right.
We got to take over TikTok. All right, so Shadora, I really want to thank you for coming on the show. It has been a fantastic time with you. And for those of you guys, if you want to to find me or Shadora or my clients or anything with Brooklyn Social, find me on Instagram, Brooklyn_social. For Twitter, media_Brooklyn. And for Facebook, Brooklyn Social Media Marketing, because these social media handles, man, you got to lock them in before the people take them.
Seriously, you got to be on top of that.
You got to be on top of it. The people take them. For the personal branding profile, you can find the Plush Mommy on all platforms, because that was easy to find, I guess. And again, it's just social media. All the podcasting sites: Apple, Spotify, Google, Caster, Dozer, Dare, I don't know, whoever. Anchor. All right, and we are out. It's been a pleasure. Shadora, do you have any last words you want to tell the people what's going on?
Hey, love your skin, love yourself, and everything's going to fall into place.
All right. Well, let us go. And guys, as you already know, please make sure to spread love. It is the Brooklyn way. We will talk to you guys later. See you next week. Bye-bye.